Hi there. Welcome to the veritable edge of Western civilization. Venice Beach, California. Today is October 16th, Thursday, 2014. It is once again a beautiful day here on the beach, and it's a little cooler than it has been. It's wearing my favorite blue smocky. Hold on. And there's a little bit of a breeze. What's going on? Anything of note? Did I mention this is show number 93? Yeah, that's what it is. And it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, as we say. Okay. It always feels like there's so much going on, and then when I go to kind of share that, it's like, well, I can't talk about that, and I can't talk about that, and that's still percolating, and wonderful. So, we're just following that airplane. See the airplane right there. See that airplane? Yeah. Okay, so this is how far we've got with the painting so far. And now we get to the interesting part of the execution. Oh boy. Is that right? 2.5. 5 inches. Seven. Two and a half. 1, 2.5. Ah. Good. Tell you, bro.
Why you lying to avoid it? Not only that, La culpa es mía y encima tengo que dudar.
Lots of talking today. Not. But it feels really good to be getting this expressed. It's been on my mind for a bit.
You guys know? It's like a little bar, I think it's up there. It's like how weird, man.
It's coming along. It's coming along. Yes, indeed. So this composition came to me a couple of days ago, and then I realized, and figuring out how I was going to do it, and everything, I realized that it's a variation on I think the first Life magazine cover. The first Life magazine cover, I think, was in the 20s. Might have been a little earlier than that, but there's a picture of a flapper. It had to be in the 20s because she's a flapper. And she's scantily clad, and she has monarch butterfly wings. And I had a picture, I had a reproduction of that, a poster of it on my wall in college. It's funny how these things.
Yeah, I mean, he's got like way big recognition.
You know, who knows where it's all. Because we never arrive anywhere, it seems, you know? Everything's always on the move towards something. And if we're lucky, we get a moment to take stock. And, oh, I have some really good news. Really, 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 really freaking amazing, wonderful news. A couple months ago, I may have mentioned a few times, actually, there was this woman that I met on the internet, on Facebook, and she goes by the alias Rumi Poe, and she last winter had relocated to Marrakesh, Morocco, and her time there has been a friggin' nightmare. She moved there with her son, her 2-year-old son, wanting to make a fresh start, develop her clothing line that was, you know, based on Moroccan, what do you call this? Caftans. And she wanted to spend more time with her son because she wasn't able to when he was born, and she wanted to get that going, and she wanted to focus on her writing, and you know, figuring that she could live cheaply there and get her writing going and get her clothing line. And she signed up with a woman, a landlord, a female landlord, on the internet before she got there, and it turned out to be a friggin' nightmare. And it resulted in her getting her. She ended up. They put her in jail. They put her in a prison for a month, separated from her son, and they essentially trying to extort $8,000 from her. And because apparently that their legal system, Moroccan legal system, it's based on the French system, but with a monarchy, and anybody can make a charge on a foreigner, and the foreigner will get arrested and put in jail without because of, you know, they're afraid of a flight risk, and that's what happened to her. You know, the accusation was made, she was arrested, put in jail, told she had to come up with this money. She was given 30 days to do so. Couldn't come up with the money. Wasn't going to come up with the money. Didn't have the money at that point because she, you know, essentially spent it all, most of her resources on trying to relocate from the apartment complex that had been the nightmare with her son and everything. So when you get arrested, they take your passport, and you can't work, you can't legally rent anything. You can't leave the country, right? And you can't get a Western Union or anything like that sent to you. So, make a long story short, she got her passport back today. I just saw it online there. Yeah, incredible ordeal. So what is this, October, middle of October? She's been, I think it was May when all this started to unfold. So all summer long she's been, and she was, the month she was in prison was the month of Ramadan. So she was, you know, there's no air conditioning in the friggin' prison, and hottest time of the year, separated from her son, basically starving every day until sunset. You know, they take their meal after sunset. But she said it was one of the most eye-opening and uplifting experiences, her time that she spent in prison, aside from the fact she was separated from her son and in prison and everything, because she was in a women's section of the prison, and she got to see a side of the world that she had never seen before. You know, they're usually, they let women have their children in prison with them, but they didn't let her. And there's you know, all sorts of, you know, it's a male-dominated society there. Women are in prison for trying to leave their husbands, trying to leave the country. Yeah, any number of things that would not be here. But anyway, she bonded with those folks. They took care of one another. And, you know, 30 people in a room sleeping on the concrete. It was a pretty serious wake up. And you know, for me, it was like vicariously watching a slow motion train wreck, because I watched, for some reason, I tuned into this story as she was leaving the States, you know, selling off all her stuff and having yard sales and everything, and sold her car, got rid of her apartment, all this kind of stuff. And I'm looking, and I'm like, you're going where? You're going to a Muslim country as a single mother? I'm like, you have some serious balls, man. I wouldn't. I've spent enough time in Muslim countries to know that, man, you better have your ducks in a row, and have a pretty solid mission and everything. I wouldn't do it. I didn't leave anything there. I spent time in Egypt, and that was enough. In Israel, in the Palestinian part of Israel, and I wouldn't do it. Nope. So I watched this unfold, and no way could I have known that it was going to be as disastrous as it turned out to be. But Jesus! So I contacted her when I could and tried to make suggestions of, you know, how she might, what she might do, you know, all sorts of, just anything I could think of, you know. And but anyway, she should be coming back to the States sometime this week. And she posted a picture of her passport. And when I saw that, it was because it was like radio site. She said over the weekend, she was like, "This is my last weekend in Morocco, and I'm supposed to get my passport back on Monday, and we'll see if I get jerked around. And so Monday night comes along, and I look, and her Facebook page isn't there, you know. I'm like, oh man, that can't be good. And it wasn't. Her Facebook page was turned off until today, and the first thing was a picture of that of the passport. It took. She was working with the American Embassy, and it took 2 American Embassy dudes to go and physically get her passport from the Moroccan authorities. You know, she had a shyster lawyer that was trying to extort $4,000 for legal fees and all this sort of stuff, and you know, had the hots for her and everything. It was like friggin' soap opera, for Christ's sake. But yeah, I just found that out just before I came on. So that is such good news.
They will call the number too. Like, yeah, it's going down. It's open. Go down. Yeah. Where do you get the bid? You know if you.
Those rainbow sucks.
Well, it's pizza night. Yay! Let me do my plug for Whole Foods. They have a $10 pizza on Thursdays. And so I didn't do it last week. Tonight's the night. Been essentially not eating meat since the beginning of August, and it feels really wonderful, I have to say. It was great not to be contributing to. I love chicken too, you know, and the taste of beef and whatnot. But it feels really great not to be contributing to all that anymore. So it's mostly sometimes I'm a pescatarian. Sometimes I'm a fruitarian. I wouldn't call myself a vegan. I know that veganism is mostly I definitely love salad. And I've been eating shellfish and some fish and that kind of thing to get my protein thing going on. But yesterday I had some tofu. Not real fond of soybeans, but it's funny when you stop eating meat, those things become more appealing. I have noticed. Hi there. Good. Did I? That was so cool. When is your birthday? Okay, what year?
85.
So how old are you now?
29.
So you just turned 29.
No, I turned 29 July.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said between now and Halloween.
Yeah, no. I would just guessing, I would say no. But that said, can you step around over here so I can see you? Because I'm trying to work. I'm doing my
Hey, on live stream?
yeah.
That's cool.
And so what's your name again?
Kelly.
Kelly. Plus. Hi. Hi. It's like, hey man, I should be included in this. If you've done the work, it should be a non-event. The actual moment when it returns to where it was.
Oh, a non-event?
Yeah, if you've,
I've done
it's
the work. I mean, I've been doing the work.
I
So
hear
I
you.
can't say I've done, but I've been doing.
Right. So there's only one test, and that is what most people don't realize is that Saturn is it's the bestower of gifts from the work that we've done. You know what I mean? And like that's why I say if you do the work, then
Well, everything's together now.
excuse me.
Everything's coming together.
That's what I mean. That now would be the time of the boon. You know, it's like you did the work, and then so the pressure starts to release, and then you get this. The benefits start to show up. You know what I mean?
That's how I feel like my new site's coming about. I just did my new
Right.
posters.
Yeah.
Like
That
Medium.
sounds like it.
met somebody who's actually like a good person.
You know, when I was your age, when my first Saturn return, that's what happened to me. It's like right at the end, I got the.
I know who I am.
Excuse
Like,
me?
it's like I feel like I really have a firm. Like I don't second guess myself.
Mm-hmm.
But you had something similar.
Yeah, I had relationships, really profoundly significant relationships and fulfilling relationships happen right as it ended. Come together. All as it was like I felt like one of the luckiest people on the planet, actually.
That's kind of how I feel. I feel like really just like I don't worry about anything anymore.
Yeah,
Like
good.
I just feel
Yeah.
confident.
Yeah. Well, then that's it.
It's over.
So poof. I wouldn't say it's over. I would say and did we talk at all about the lunar progressed moon
Well, my moon
return?
is in Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
What does that mean? My moon is in
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
Means you need higher learning, you need to travel, you need to interact with people from different cultures.
Does it stay, or is that just how I am? So is that consistent?
See, this is what I was trying to get to, right? You most likely have there's where the moon is in your natal chart, and then there's this thing called the progressed moon, right? And the progressed chart is if you take every day after the day that you were born as a year of your life. So the 29th day after you were born would be the 29th year of your life. the progress chart for your 29th year, right? And it takes, 29.5 days for the moon to go around, right? To complete one turn around the Earth, right? So in the 29th year, your progressed moon returns to where it was when you were born. And so if your progressed moon is if you have your natal moon in Sagittarius, the progressed moon is returning to itself at the same time that the Saturn return is happening. So that most people, they know the Saturn return, but they don't know about this progressed moon return as well. And that's the two, the moon is mother, the Saturn is the father as he conducts himself in the world, right? And the sun is the father as he is at home with the children and all that, right? So you have both the father and mother are coming together at this time to kind of make sure that you get all your chips stacked right. But the moon part, the progressed moon thing, is really it's kind of like the hidden agenda of the cosmos to try to in a sense complete your growth, your emotional growth, because the moon is your heart and soul and reigning need for this incarnation, right? And the progressed moon is that evolving aspect of your wandering heart in a sense, as it whatever sign it goes to, it teaches it the emotional lessons of each one of those signs until it gets back to, in your case, Sagittarius, right?
What is Sagittarius?
Excuse me?
What is Sagittarius?
It's from the 20th of November until the solstice. Ish, 20th, 21st, something like, depending what year it is. So it's a very it's a sign that has to do with it's ruled by Jupiter, right? Jupiter, the planet of expansion and opportunity and faith and philosophy of life. So it's a king of the universe, right? And with the moon in the sign of that it rules, then your moon is kind of, because the moon is like tofu, right? It's just my second reference of tofu here in the show today. But how it takes on whatever energies it's around, and magnifies it reflects whatever energies around, like it reflects the sun, and when it's in Sagittarius, it reflects that, the Jupiterian energy and Sagittarius energy. And what it has to do with is, in Sagittarius, is this the need to travel, the need to interact with, the need for higher learning, the need to interact with things that you would have considered foreign to you when you were a kid, foreign relations, higher learning, that kind of thing. But the need to expand, the need to go far and travel widely, and if not physically, intellectually, to expand your horizons. But and also spiritually, the need to spiritually expand. And if you're not doing that, then there's going to be a lot of tension around that.
No, I'm definitely feeling that and doing it. I'm going, like, a lot of things are happening, and like a lot of things keep coming up in my meditations. Like, the energy shifts. Sometimes I'm like really enthusiastic, I get great creative insights, and sometimes I get things that are really painful that I feel it, that come up.
Yep.
And
that's doing the work, babe.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is very helpful. I really appreciate it.
I hope so.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to give a little more.
Now, I've been wanting to paint too. How do you get started?
I would recommend is, go to like daViD'z over there. They have these paints. These are like $5 a piece, right? You want to get black, white, blue, yellow, and red. And with that, you can make all the other colors.
Yeah.
Right? I would recommend that you get raw canvas and that you use this technique that I use, which is, you see how I've just got the canvas stretched with 4 push pins, right? So then acrylic paint is a water-based polymer, right? And what this means is that it can be used like watercolor. So if you saturate the canvas with water and then paint on it, it's like painting with watercolor, but it's more forgiving than watercolor, right? You can control it more than you can with regular watercolor, right? And then you also have the ability of using it once it's dry. You can layer on top, which is basically painting the way that you would paint with oils. It's all layering. The thing is that it dries, a lot quicker than oils. But you can, using sunlight and the addition of water, you can prolong how long it takes to dry, right? And so what I would then recommend, you can get these really cheap brushes. You've seen these these oxtail brushes, oxhair brushes, right? They're really cheap. That's like $1.50, something like that, right? And you want to get your favorite color. If you want to, what would I paint first, right? Is you dip the biggest brush you have in your favorite color and just go to town, right? And only paint what excites you.
Okay.
And I say use raw canvas rather than raw. Raw. Yeah, it looks like this.
Okay.
You can feel that. It's just fabric, right? And you want the thicker one. They have it at daViD'z, because the thinner stuff will bleed the water. When you put water on it, it'll bleed, and then it'll bleed back through when you put paint on it. And so then you end up with a whole lot of issues that you can use down the road when you know what you're doing. But initially, it's easier if this. That you'll see when you go to the store, there's like prepared canvases, right? There's these store-bought canvases are already stretched and they're all white and everything. The white is the gesso, right? Okay. I would not recommend that you start with that stuff because you'll most likely end up being very frustrated with it, because that's for painting with acrylic like you would paint with oils. And it's not very forgiving in that sense. You have to layer, or like I said, know what you're doing in terms of using water and stuff like that. But it's not very gratifying. It's actually, for me, painting on that stuff is actually really challenging, and I've been painting for over 20 years. So it's a lot easier painting on the raw canvas. Stay away from, initially paint with a raw canvas, and then get some canvases and play with that.
How do you mix your colors?
I mix it on the canvas. You know what I mean? Like I don't like take a little something on the side.
Over dab it. You just use the same brush and then you just
right.
You blend them.
Yes, I blend them on the canvas. You know what I mean? And it saves paint. You don't end up with the whole friggin' palette. You notice I don't have a lot of paint on me. Yeah. You learn to be very frugal about it. Yeah. As you should be. I mean. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so you think ahead of time, like, okay, what needs to go where, and you learn that by just doing it. Yeah. So anyway.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question. I love answering that question for people. That says they're ready to get some work done, you know?
Thank you. Well, it's a new hobby.
Sure.
It's like I've never really expressed that creative side of me.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to go into something that's like totally more the creative arts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Hello. Doesn't suck.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thanks.
Very cool.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hugging.
Thanks for all of your help.
We'll have some of that
I
hugging thing.
appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. Bless.
Yeah, this really helps. I love the guidance. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, time to pack up.
All right. Yes, that's it. Time to go, huh?
Yeah. Okay, so that was that. And sun's going down. I'll give you a quick look at that. Hopefully. Yep, there's our friend the sun. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if you're seeing me or anything like that right now, but I just moved, when I moved the computer, the phone disconnected from the thing, but apparently it had linked through Bluetooth on its own. I don't know how that happened, but I'm hoping that you're still receiving the signal, and I'm just saying goodbye. Goodbye! And we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, last show of the week. So what are we doing? There's our little blinky thing. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so let's have our moment of Zen.